Well, it's Friday, and the Dodgers are back home. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Welcome to Dodgers' latest weekend edition. Yeah, tough road trip for the Blue. They go 2-4, but they come home on a high note, beating the Nationals on Wednesday, making it for a happy flight home cross country from the nation's capital. And it's the Dodgers and the Cubs starting this weekend, opening up a 6-game homestand, 3 with the Cubs, including Sunday night baseball against the Cubbies, and then 3 against the Colorado Rockies. We'll get into that series in a second. But I'll tell you what, if you're thinking trade rumors, if you're thinking about deals, well, Bobby Miller is possibly on the trading block. That's right. There are reports out there that the Dodgers have been talking with the New York Yankees. That's right. Crazy, right? We said here on Dodgers Latest that we thought Bobby Miller may have a spot in the rotation, but it looks like Landon Knack, despite having a bad outing against the Nationals, looks like he's going to get another turn against the Rockies next week. Remember, Blake Snell didn't have any structural damage to his shoulder, so it looks like he will be back off the IL after missing the Rockies series. Maybe have him come back either late against the Rangers or in Wrigley Field when the Dodgers travel to the north side in a couple of weeks. So it looks like Landon Knack has returned. So at the end of the day, looks like Bobby Miller is the odd man out. And the Yankees, it's an interesting proposition, right? You know, they're missing Garrett Cole. There's been talks about Sandy Alcantara. You know, Luis Gil is out as well. The problem is, maybe Bobby Miller won't cost the Yankees that much, and that's why they're interested. Remember, Bobby Miller was a stud. We thought he was the next big thing. You know, him and Walker Buehler were the future, right? In 2023, Bobby Miller was 11-4 with an ERA, over 3, was absolutely dominant. And then it all fell apart in 2024. He was 2-4, but that ERA ballooned to 8.32. He's had some rehab stints in Oklahoma City. It's gone well. And now the Dodgers maybe see him as a potential trade bait. Maybe the Yankees, maybe somebody else, as the Dodgers all of a sudden have this incredible depth of starting pitching. Maybe Bobby Miller will be on the move. Dodgers did make a trade, low-level minor leaguer rookie ball. They've acquired Chandrik Odeber, who is from Aruba. They got him from the Royals, hasn't pitched above rookie ball. He was a starter. They converted him over to a reliever. So the Dodgers adding another arm in their arsenal. Obviously, he'll go down to the low minors. Chandrik Odeber, remember that name, from Aruba, could be making an impact sometime down the road for the Dodgers. Guy who's made an impact, well, it's Andy Pages. Maybe he's even saved his spot on the roster. Remember, we were just burying Andy Pages, right? Bad at the plate, bad in the field, bad on the base running. Well, he had a great series against Washington. Tuesday and Wednesday, he hit a home run in each of those games. The Wednesday night one was a big home run. He went 3 for 7 his last 2 games, raised his batting average up to a still woeful 171. But considering he came into Tuesday's game 4 for 34, all of a sudden 3 hits and 7 at bats wakes us up. And now that gives the Dodgers maybe a chance to breathe. That's right. Remember, Ho-Sing Kim, who the Dodgers signed, he had been moved from the infield to center field out in AAA. Dalton Rushing, who's the Dodgers' top catching prospect, they've moved him to the outfield, trying to work out something, maybe to push Andy Pages, and maybe this is something Andy needed. I get it. It's only 2 weeks, right? The season has just begun. But the Dodgers, when you're the world champs, you can't afford to rest on your laurels, right? But the one thing about Dave Roberts, I will say this, very loyal, hangs in there with his guys, looked at it as a slump. Being an ex-player, I'm sure he understands the ups and downs with it, and maybe Andy Pages has found the magic again. He had such a good impact last year, was a big star in the postseason for the Dodgers. So Andy Pages looks like we'll be back in the lineup tonight against the left-hander Matthew Boyd. Makes sense, right, with a lefty out there, and maybe Andy has saved his spot for now in the outfield. The Dodgers, of course, with tons of options. So it's good to see Andy waking that bat up. And speaking of a guy who's back, speaking of a postseason hero, looks like Freddie Freeman is coming back tonight to return to the starting lineup after being on the injured list with an injured ankle. And of course, it's Freddie Freeman bobblehead night, right? Honoring his grand slam in game one against the Yankees. I'm hearing Charlie Freeman, his son's going to throw out the first pitch tonight. Looks like Freddie is back. Freddie hasn't played since the Tiger series, the first weekend at home, end of March. Remember, Freddie walked into the shower and slipped and aggravated his surgically repaired ankle. So he missed the whole Braves series, and he missed the whole road trip with Philadelphia and the Nationals. Freddie was 3 for 12 with a couple of homers and 4 RBIs. So you just got to wonder, especially against a lefty in Matthew Boyd tonight for the Cubs, how the timing will be against the lefty. We know Freddie hits lefties well, but it'll be interesting, and it's interesting to see what the Dodgers do with him. Will they rest him? Will they bring him back slowly? Freddie, is one of those guys never wants to be out of the lineup, but Freddie Freeman's set to come back. And I wanted to take this opportunity to really give a shout out and give his flowers to Kike Hernandez. What a job he did playing first base for Freddie Freeman while he was on the IL, right? Listen, Kike is not a first baseman. He made an amazing play Wednesday in the 9th inning to preserve the save for Blake Trinan and that victory for the Dodgers in D.C., making that diving stop to his right and getting the force at second base. Kike is one of those guys. He's a Swiss Army knife, and he'll always have a role, always have a place with the Dodgers. And that's why, because you can put him in anywhere. Third base, shortstop, second base, first base, the outfield. What a great job. And despite only having 4 hits this year, they're all home runs. So Kike, who has a flair for the dramatic, he's a postseason star, postseason legend. Great job by him spelling Freddie Freeman, who is back tonight at Dodger Stadium, and it's good to see that. Finally, Dodgers and the Cubs, that's the weekend series, and the Dodgers get back to more of their traditional stars on the mound. It'll be Yamamoto tonight, Sasaki tomorrow, and it'll be Tyler Glasnow. Sunday Night Baseball, by the way, it's an ESPN game. Tyler Glasnow will be on the mound then. Then the Dodgers will await the Colorado Rockies will be back in Dodger Stadium Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Remember, the Cubs and Dodgers, they opened up the season in Japan. Yamamoto pitched that first game and got the win. Yamamoto pitched really well. It was a shame he lost his last time out against the Phillies. Pitched a great game, didn't give up an earned run. But it'll be Yamamoto tonight. Sasaki, who pitched that second game of the season, he goes on Saturday. So the Dodgers and Cubs will be going at it. And the Cubs are a pretty good ball club. So this will be, just like we talked about Dodgers-Phillies was a great maybe postseason entree. Well, maybe this will be as well, as the Dodgers and Cubs, who have seen each other before in the postseason. They will renew rivalries this weekend. And in terms of Matthew Boyd, the lefty, who has hit well against him? Well, Mookie Betts has done well against him. Shohei has a home run against him. But Boyd has pitched great. Remember, he pitched really well against the Padres. 6 innings, no runs. He hasn't given up an earned run this year in 11 innings. So the Dodgers will have their handful with the lefty Matthew Boyd tonight. So it'll be a good weekend. The Cubs always travel, so Dodger Stadium will be rocking as the champs are back home. Freddie Freeman, bobblehead. The boys are back together. Hope you have a good weekend. Monday, the Rockies and the Dodgers will head out on the road starting next weekend. Visit old friend Corey Seager and the Rangers, and then it's the Cubs again as the Dodgers will go to the north side. I'm Jim Rodriguez. You can hit me up on X at JRodShow, as well as on Instagram at JRodShow. It's always time for Dodger Baseball. This is Dodgers Latest.